This is Tina Douglas, and you're listening to the Liam Photography Podcast with your host, my husband, Liam Douglas. Enjoy!
Welcome back to the show, everyone. Liam here, and this is episode 503 of the Liam Photography Podcast for the week of April 23rd, 2026. In today's episode, Insta360 unveils its new Luna gimbal camera, Camera Trap captures a wildlife highway, Leica partners with Gpixel, and more. So let's go ahead and get into our first story for this week. Insta360 is teasing an all-new camera series co-engineered with Leica. The Insta360 Luna Pro and Luna Ultra cameras, hidden behind partially frosted glass at Insta360's large booth at NAB in Las Vegas, promises high-end single and dual-lens imaging and a familiar form and function. Insta360, best known for its 360-degree cameras like the X5 and its Leica-engineered Ace Pro action cameras, looks like it's targeting DJI's brand new Osmo Pocket 4 and rumored dual-camera Osmo Pocket 4P. While Insta360's NAB booth offers only a broad strokes look at the single-lens Luna Pro and the dual-lens Luna Ultra, the Osmo-like shape is immediately obvious. The Insta360 Luna Pro and Ultra cameras both feature Type 1 image sensors, bright f1.8 lenses with variable focal lengths, and 10-bit color for, quote, smoother, more natural transitions in light and shadow, end quote. At least one key difference between the Luna Pro and Ultra will be that the Ultra has dual lenses, which Insta360 says will deliver, quote, enhanced telephoto performance, end quote. Although that's all Insta360 itself has said, content creator and photographer David Manning has the Insta360 Luna in hand so that people can get a slightly better look at the Luna Ultra device itself. Manning otherwise essentially parrots the high-level features like Insta360 announced, but it's good to get a better look at the device itself rather than be relegated to obfuscated glances through frosted glass. Friend of Petapixel, Becca Fracey, has also gotten her hands on the Insta360 Luna, sharing a hands-on look at Insta360's upcoming camera. There is still a lot that remains unknown, including when the Luna Pro and Ultra will ship, how much they will cost, and of course their precise specifications and features. It's also unclear how well they will perform, though the sample footage at least offers some insight. There's no question that Insta360 Luna cameras will play nice with much of Insta360's ecosystem, including the upcoming Wireless Mic Pro, which the company also showed off at NAB 2026. Other aspects of the user experience remain mysterious for now, though. What is clearly known, even with so few details, is that Insta360 and DJI's rivalry will continue to heat up. Like it did with drones, Insta360 has eyed one of DJI's biggest product segments and thought, quote, we can do better, end quote. The cameras have traded many punches in recent years, including DJI launching its first 360-degree camera last summer. The two Chinese tech giants are also battling it out in the courts right now over alleged patent violations, with Insta360 coming after the Osmo Pocket, an undeniable smash hit for DJI. The battle is only going to get more bitter. It's great news for consumers, though, as fresh competition will force each company to step up its game. And I was extremely excited when I first saw the sneak previews of this camera on YouTube last night. I do have the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 and absolutely love that camera, but all the rest of my action cameras are Insta360 as of a few years ago, when I got rid of all my GoPros and a couple of my previous DJI Osmo action cameras. I had the 3 and the 4, I think it was. But what's got me excited about this, a couple of things. So first of all, with the ban against DJI in the US, we here in the States are not going to be able to get our hands on the Pocket 4 or 4P. And that, and the fact that Insta360 is my preferred action camera system, those are the two main reasons why I'm excited for the Luna Pro and Luna Ultra. And believe me, I definitely want the Ultra. So I'm going to be looking for more information on that one and pricing and when it'll be available, because that will be my new pocket gimbal camera. A photographer captured a series of spectacular wildlife photos over the course of 1 year after he left a camera trap fixed on a remote river crossing in Kenya's Masai Mara. The Masai Mara brings to mind wide open plains and great migrations. It was the inspiration for The Lion King, after all. But photographer Will Buard Lucas found a primordial location in part of the reserve that is closed to the public. A small river flanked by a dense forest that local wildlife uses as a highway. Buard Lucas explains on his blog that the project was in collaboration with rangers monitoring the Masai Mara's endangered black rhino population. Quote, "For me, the opportunity was irresistible," the British photographer says. The Masai Mara is one of the most famous wildlife destinations on Earth, yet even here there are corners that very few people ever see. Placing cameras in areas closed to tourism offered a rare chance to document a hidden side of the Mara, end quote. The Masai Mara rangers took Buard Lucas to a location they knew black rhinos used regularly, but one that was difficult to monitor because of the thick vegetation. Quote, "Entering the forest felt like stepping into another world," he says. "The air was hot and heavy, filled with the smell of rhino, buffalo, hippo, and elephant dung. It felt primordial, like a fragment of an older landscape hidden within the savanna," end quote. The spot he chose had elevated riverbanks, which allowed him to place the remote camera system high above the crossing. This meant he could capture environmental portraits showing the animals surrounded by their natural habitat. Quote, "The palms arcing over the water gave the scene a wonderful prehistoric feel," he adds, end quote. Buard Lucas used his own camtrapitation system for the job, placing several flashes around the scene. The system is triggered by a PIR motion sensor that is placed close to the path. Quote, "Lighting nocturnal scenes like this is always a balancing act. Too much light and you lose the atmosphere. Too little and important elements disappear into the darkness," he says, end quote. After the camera trap was rigged, Buard Lucas left it running constantly. The rangers came to check on it every couple of weeks, swapping in new memory cards and batteries. Buard Lucas was working with the Masai Mara Reserve Rhino Unit, and it didn't take long for the project to start capturing images of the critically endangered black rhinos. Quote, "The camera revealed this to be a well-used corridor for multiple rhinos moving between feeding areas," the photographer notes, end quote. Quote, "Several of these individuals had not been documented by the rangers for many months, and one had not been seen since 2023. As a result, the photographs helped confirm the continued presence of rhinos whose status in the population figures had previously remained uncertain, giving the team greater confidence in their estimates," end quote. But rhinos were far from the only animals the teams captured on camera. Quote, "Elephants passed through in breeding herds. A leopard appeared briefly before melting back into the forest. Hippos emerged from the river. Bushbuck and giraffe moved cautiously down to the water," Buard Lucas says excitedly. The crossing had become a window into the hidden life of the Mara, end quote. One day, Buard Lucas's phone blew up with WhatsApp messages. There was some excitement in the group. Quote, "At first, I didn't understand the commotion," he writes. "It became clear that the buzz was because the cameras had captured a great kudu passing through the crossing. Kudus are spectacular-looking creatures with curly horns and mohawk-like ridge of fur on their back. But the sighting went far beyond aesthetics. This was the first recorded sighting of a kudu in the area for many years." News of the kudu sighting quickly spread through the Narok County Tourism Wildlife Management Team. Quote, the possibility of reintroducing kudu had previously been considered, so the discovery that they were still present naturally was very exciting, Buard Lucas says, end quote. Of course, wild animals in the Masai Mara couldn't give two hoots about a camera trap, and some of the systems didn't survive. Quote, elephants dismantled one setup and another was knocked over by hippos, Buard Lucas says. After a spectacular deluge, a flash flood submerged one of the sensors, end quote. Quote, the photograph is striking, Buard Lucas says of the photo, but it also hints at a wider issue in the Mara. Flash flooding has become more frequent in recent years, partly due to deforestation and upstream catchments. With less vegetation to absorb rainfall, water now runs off the hillsides faster and river rises more rapidly, contributed to repeated flooding along the Mara River, end quote. Buard Lucas previously made a similar project deep in the Congo rainforest, and he notes on his blog that this is exactly the kind of scenario where remote cameras shine. Quote, camera traps provide a rare glimpse into that unseen world, showing how animals move through the landscape at night and how they use quiet, sheltered corridors where they can pass undisturbed, he says. They are not only powerful storytelling tools, but valuable instruments for conservation as well, helping teams monitor elusive species and better understand how animals use the habitats they are trying to protect. Buard Lucas thanks the Safari Collection's Solace Camp and Footprint Trust for hosting and helping to facilitate the project. I am also deeply grateful to the Narak County government, the Masai Mara Reserve Rhino Unit, and all the rangers involved, especially those who helped identify locations, set up and maintain the cameras, and look after them in my absence, end quote. And I thought this was exciting, and I highly recommend you stop by the show notes for today's episode and click on the link for this full story at Petapixel so you can check out the spectacular images that he captured for yourself. He has got some truly, truly great wildlife images in this original source article. Just some really fantastic work. Leica Camera AG and Gpixel, a leading global provider of CMOS image sensors, have announced a new strategic partnership. The two companies are working together to co-develop a new high-performance image sensor for next-generation Leica cameras. Just before last Christmas, Dr. Andreas Kaufmann, the chairman of the supervisory board and majority shareholder of Leica Camera AG, appeared on the German-language podcast Leica Enthusiast Podcast to discuss a wide range of topics. When chatting with podcast host Michael Bernbacher, Kaufmann said that Leica was once again developing its own image sensor. At the time, Petapixel speculated about what this news actually meant. It is one thing to design an image sensor and another thing altogether to fabricate and manufacture one. Leica has used off-the-shelf Sony image sensors for its M11 generation rangefinder cameras, which was a departure from the M10 series, during which Leica worked with AMS Osram to develop a 24-megapixel full-frame image sensor. It made the most sense to believe Leica would work with a sensor company to make a new, bespoke next-generation sensor for its next cameras. As it turns out, that's precisely what Leica is doing. While AMS Osram still exists, Leica opted instead to team up with Gpixel, a Chinese image sensor company with offices globally, including in Europe, Japan, and the Americas. Gpixel makes a wide range of image sensors, including off-the-shelf, semi-customized, and fully customized chips for medical, scientific, industrial, and professional imaging applications. The company has a pretty impressive catalog of sensors, including high-resolution BSI sensors, stack sensors, and even full-frame global shutter chips. Neither Leica Camera AG nor Gpixel shared any details on specifically what sensor or sensors they are working on together. Still, the companies are clear that the collaboration is focused on making a new, quote, new high-performance image sensor tailored for next-generation Leica cameras, end quote, not simply putting an existing Gpixel sensor into a new Leica. Quote, this collaboration brings together Leica's long-standing expertise in premium imaging and Gpixel's cutting-edge sensor design capabilities to push the boundaries of what is technically possible in digital photography, end quote, Leica says. Quote, the partnership focuses on jointly engineering a bespoke image sensor optimized for Leica's rigorous imaging standards, enabling unprecedented levels of image quality, dynamic range, color fidelity, and low-light performance across future Leica products, end quote. The legendary German photo company continues. Leica promises that the jointly developed image sensor will be purpose-engineered to meet Leica's very high-performance standards, particularly concerning color reproduction, noise performance, dynamic range, and resolution. The companies will also work together to carefully tune and ultimately mass-produce the required image sensors. Quote, I am really happy and proud that our long-term cooperation with Gpixel will result in a true Leica sensor, incorporating the best ingredients of engineering between Wetzlar, Antwerp, and Changchun, says Dr. Kaufman. Quote, at Gpixel, we have always admired Leica's uncompromising approach to craftsmanship and image performance, says Jiang Wang, CEO of Gpixel. Quote, collaborating with Leica gives us the opportunity to combine our sensor engineering strengths with their legendary image heritage. This partnership allows us to co-create a new generation of sensors that will empower photographers with extraordinary image-making capabilities, end quote. In a photography industry dominated by two primary image sensor makers, Sony and Canon, Leica's new collaboration with Gpixel is very exciting news. While there is a lot more that goes into making a fantastic camera than just the image sensor, it remains a foundational element and directly influences a camera's imaging performance from a technical perspective and perhaps just as importantly, an artistic one. There is no word yet on when Leica's new sensor partnership with Gpixel will bear fruit, but when it does, it will be exciting and extremely interesting. It will also mark Gpixel's big debut on the global photography stage, and perhaps the company will make waves unlike anything the industry has seen in a very, very long time. And I thought this was definitely some exciting news. It's always a reason to be celebratory and happy when a new image sensor collaboration is coming about, because it only benefits us as creators, whether you're a photographer or videographer. A new sensor or new sensor technology is always a good thing for the industry, so it'll be interesting to see what Leica and Gpixel come up with. Now I'm going to take a short break right here, and then I'll be right back. We hope you're enjoying this episode of the Liam Photography Podcast. You can visit the homepage for the show at liamphotographypodcast.com for show notes and links. You can post your questions, comments, or requests for future episodes at the Liam Photography Podcast Facebook group, or you can also email them to the show at liamphotographypodcast.com. You can find the show on Twitter and Instagram at LiamPhotoATL. You can tweet the show, just insert the hashtag LiamPhotoPodcast. And now, back to the show. And we are back. The reborn wide-lux camera is inching closer to market as Silver Bridges has now revealed that the first wide-lux production run is in the works and that fully working prototypes are in the hands of photographers right now. The new wide-lux F10 has been a long time coming. Back in September 2024, Oscar-winning actor and passionate photographer Jeff Bridges unveiled that he and his wife, photographer Susan Bridges, had teamed up with Silver Grain Classics editor-in-chief Marwan El-Mozian and Cherise Schuler to form Silver Bridges, a new company dedicated to reviving the beloved wide-lux camera. Jeff Bridges' love affair with the wide-lux is well known. Unfortunately, the original wide-lux factory burned down over 20 years ago, essentially ending the camera's production and its ability to be easily repaired. Determined to bring it back, the two Bridges, El-Mozian and Schuler, have been working tirelessly on a new wide-lux F10 camera that retains the charm of the original while adding more modern improvements. This meant reverse engineering a classic wide-lux, determining what needed to be tweaked, which parts needed to be newly machined, and more. It is an extensive, complex process. This revival reached a crescendo last October when Silver Bridges reached prototyping stage, showing off a beautiful fresh take on the classic panoramic film camera. Quote, I think we see ourselves as the missing link between the history of analog photography and the future of analog photography. It's not only about the wide lux, which is an amazing camera and a wonderful tool for artists, but it's about the future of analog photography, giving a new generation of photographers the tools to work on. It's about the art and the craft of camera manufacturing and analog photography, Jeff Bridges said last year of the Widelux F10. Jeff and Susan Bridges got to unbox the Widelux F10 prototype early last month, and their excitement was palpable. Now that other photographers have taken the Widelux F10 out into the world, fans can see what sort of performance and charm await them. Quote, these images go beyond the early tests you've seen before, Silver Bridges says of the new shots, which are featured throughout this story. And again, you can check out the images by clicking the link in the show notes. Quote, this is the kind of creative use that made the original Widelux so distinctive, now coming from Widelux X. End quote. As for when other photographers will be able to purchase their own Widelux X F10, Silver Bridges says more details will arrive, quote, very soon. So definitely some exciting news for those of you that are into film photography, and especially panoramic film photography. It looks like Widelux will be back on the market before too long. John Leica found his niche as a cameraman when he was just 8 years old. Like many other kids, he strapped on a pair of rollerblades and began skating around. The difference is he's never taken them off. Leica tells Gpixel that when he started shooting short films and skit videos, he just saw his rollerblades as the obvious way to get the shots he wanted. Quote, my rollerblade shots seemed like a cheap DIY version of a Steadicam or a dolly, he says. But as he grew older, he realized that a camera operator on skates might just be something unique he could exploit. And he was right. Leica is regularly hired by Hollywood productions and corporate clients who want the mobility, speed, and handheld intensity that he can offer while filming on his blades. His skill was particularly useful for the HBO basketball series Swagger. Quote, they basically gave me a six-figure camera and built me a skate park and said play around in it, he says. End quote. But despite carrying 20 pounds of camera in his hands and a further 40 pounds in a backpack, Leica says he's never worried about dropping the gear or falling over. And that is no small part because of his background as a highly accomplished, aggressive inline skater, jumping stair sets and grinding down handrails. Quote, in no way would I be able to do what I do without my aggressive inline background. I skate almost daily, constantly throwing myself off balance and having to catch myself, he explains. My skates feel more comfortable on me than some people feel in shoes, end quote. Aggressive inline requires skaters to be hyper-aware of their surroundings, especially while in a busy skate park, and that skill helps Leica when filming on busy sets. Quote, I also film skate videos, and you often have to get used to just knowing what's in the frame without looking at a monitor, because if you look at a screen, you can't react fast enough to the action, he says, end quote. Quote, when filming high-speed action on set, I never look at the monitor and trust myself to frame up the shots by feel. If I looked at the monitor during these moments, I would collide with the actors because I wouldn't be reacting to the action, end quote. Why would someone specifically want a cameraman on wheels? Leica says there are certain advantages that are unique to him. Quote, I can move fast while keeping the handheld intensity dialed back. I can skate backwards way faster than someone running backwards, and I can get the camera way lower to the ground while moving fast, he explains. I emphasize handheld because I feel like that's where Blade Cam really separates itself from other tools. I can also move through the tighter spaces and reset much faster than other gear. End quote. Leica cited one commercial where a skateboarder was riding down a hill. Quote, we could have followed the skateboarder with a car, but that's way more dangerous, time-consuming, and expensive, not to mention limiting the potential list of shots, he says. I was able to easily follow behind and lead in front, switching between the two, while sometimes keeping the camera just a few inches from the skateboard. end quote. Leica says that not every job needs a rollerblade camera, and he says he regularly talks people out of hiring him. Quote, that just makes it all the sweeter when the right gig does come up, and the best option to tell your story is me having fun on blades, he adds. Leica says being a rollerblade cameraman in Hollywood is a super niche. He only knows of 2 other blade camera operators and knows both of them since the rollerblade community is super tiny. He recently shot a video for Oakley Meta smart glasses where he had to follow a pro skateboarder who was dropping into a 14-foot bowl. Quote, one of the guys can't do that shot, so if I'm unavailable and my buddy is unavailable, time to think of a different shot, end quote. John Leica put together a video all about his career as a rolling Hollywood cameraman, and you can check that out again by going to the show notes and clicking on the link for this article. Definitely a unique and interesting way to film for production. 7 Artisans has introduced a new compact prime lens for rangefinder shooters, the M35 f2.8, designed for both Leica M and Leica thread mount L39 systems. Priced at $428 US, the lens leans into a classic design philosophy while incorporating modern optical refinements in a notably small and lightweight form factor. The 35mm focal length has long been considered a standard for everyday photography, offering a natural field of view that balances subject and environment. With a 61.8-degree angle of view on full-frame cameras, the 7 Artisans M35mm f2.8 is positioned as a versatile option for street photography, travel, and general use. The lens features a maximum aperture of f2.8, which is more modest than faster primes, but contributes to its compact size and portability. While not designed primarily for extreme low-light work, the aperture remains usable across a range of lighting conditions while maintaining a slim profile suited to rangefinder setups. Visually, the lens draws clear inspiration from classic rangefinder optics, echoing designs from Leica's earlier lineup. Its all-metal construction and compact proportions give it a distinctly vintage feel, while a blacked-out finish offers a more contemporary aesthetic compared to traditional silver lenses. At just 3.5 ounces or 88 grams and approximately 1.1 inches or 28 millimeters in length, the lens is designed to stay unobtrusive on camera. Its small footprint makes it particularly well-suited for photographers who prioritize portability and minimalism. Despite its size, the lens maintains a solid build quality with a metal body that reflects its retro-inspired design language. It uses a 34mm filter thread and includes both a larger hood for flare reduction and a smaller hood that can function as a protective bumper. The M35mm f2.8 is built around a 7-element, 5-group optical structure based on a double Gauss design. This classic configuration is paired with modern coatings intended to improve contrast and reduce flare compared to older lenses built on similar principles. 7 Artisans positions the lens as balancing sharpness with a more traditional rendering style. The goal is not purely clinical performance, but an image character that retains some of the qualities associated with vintage optics, while still delivering consistent detail across the frame. The lens uses a 7-blade aperture with a range from 2.8 to f22, allowing for flexibility in depth of field and exposure control. As expected for a lens in this category, the M35mm f2.8 is manual focus only. It is fully rangefinder coupled, offering focusing from 2.3 feet or 0.7 meters to infinity on Leica M-mount bodies. On some L39 cameras, coupling may begin at approximately 3.3 feet or 1 meter, depending on the specific camera design. The lens is built with integrated M and L39 compatibility, eliminating the need for separate adapters and helping maintain focusing accuracy across supported systems. Its compact design also minimizes viewfinder blockage even when using the included lens hood, preserving a clear composing experience for rangefinder users. One of the defining characteristics of the lens is its emphasis on portability. With its low weight and compact dimensions, it is designed to be carried effortlessly, making it ideal for long shooting days or travel scenarios. The lens is also intended to function as both a practical tool and a tactile object. Its metal construction, compact form, and included accessories reflect a design approach that emphasizes physical interactions as much as image making. The 7 Artisans M35 2.8 is compatible with a wide range of cameras beyond modern Leica M bodies. It can be used with Leica's thread mount cameras, including classic Barnack models, as well as compatible rangefinders from brands such as Voigtlander, Canon, and others. It can also be adapted to many modern mirrorless cameras. 7 Artisans notes that due to variations between camera bodies, rangefinder coupling performance and physical clearance may differ slightly by model, particularly in older systems. The 7 Artisans M35mm f2.8 is available now for $428 US. It is offered in Leica M mount as well as a version compatible with Leica thread mount L39 systems, with the distribution through the company's official store and authorized retailers. So definitely some exciting news to wrap up this week's episode with. 7 Artisans has really been crushing it the last few years with their new lenses, as have many of the other Chinese lens manufacturers, and it definitely makes things a lot more exciting and gives us a lot more variety and selection when it comes to good quality lenses. Remember to check out the Liam Photography Podcast Facebook group. It is a private group, and you must answer a security question to join, which is the name of the host of the show, myself, Liam. And I've also opened it up to allow you to give the name of a previous guest on the show to show that you're a listener. Once you are in the group, you are free to post your own original work. Additionally, I am the admin of the Fujifilm GFX 50R group, which is the largest group for the 50R on Facebook. If you own or plan to own the 50R, you can request to join that group. You can find my work at liamphotography.net and follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at liamphotoatl. If you like abandoned buildings and history, you can find my project at forgottenpiecesofgeorgia.com. All right, that's going to wrap up episode 503 of the Liam Photography Podcast. I want to thank all of my listeners once again for subscribing, rating, and reviewing us in Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you might be getting your podcasts. If you're not currently a subscriber, why not? It doesn't cost you anything but a second of your time to smash that subscribe button. So do it now, please, as well as share the show out on social media and elsewhere with any of your photography friends and ask them to give it a subscribe and listen as well. Also, be sure to stop by the Liam Photography YouTube channel, subscribe to the channel, and turn on all notifications. Check out my most recent videos on there. The channel is getting ever closer to 100,000 subscribers. It crossed the 98,000 threshold this morning, so definitely exciting. Hopefully within the next 3 months we'll make it to 100,000 subscribers, which would be truly amazing. And I want to thank all of you again for your kindness and your support on YouTube as well as on Spotify with this podcast. All right, I will see you all again next Thursday.